the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Kubatan ya ehwe Ghana ha yemre nimfo so ya ye friend no the Ghana Bar Association. But another omo atitibi ediamane the Attorney General Dr. Dominic Akutinga Ayine and afe Ghana mampanyini on two separate instances. The other kind and someone the Attorney General Dr. Ayine edikotu dwabra onya kwanya na oni over 11,000 lawyers participating in this year's Ghana Bar Association conference. Moshia omo oditu dwa say the Ghana Bar Association should be selective in its advocacy and not align itself with partisan interest. Na Attorney General the Nsem-Pii tudwa now all respond to the bar. A bar now on numerous occasions the Ghana Bar Association I express more dissatisfaction with respect to kwanya na abayi epese faso na omuhan the Chief Justice her ladyship Justice Gertrude Tukonu omupese omuhan to akonya. Time in and time in now the Ghana Bar Association led by its executives but to just say there should be clear stated procedures with which the Attorney General and the 5-member committee juma to ensure say the former Chief Justice has access to a fair trial. Now I know that Dr. Ayine Kasa was the opening of the bar's annual general conference. Accused the Ghana Bar Association of inconsistency in its public stance on Article 146 petitions, leading to the removal of key public officials. Now, Dr. Ayine Kasa was citing the removal of former sh0cks Commissioner Mahama Loretta Lamte in 2015, the removal of former EC Chair sh0cks in 2018, and the most recent removal of former Chief Justice, her ladyship Justice Gertrude Tukonu. Now, according to the Attorney General, the Ghana Bar remaining silent during the first two removals, that is the removal of Loretta Lamte and sh0cks, but publicly, Oma voiced several concerns only in the case of Justice Tukonu. According to the Attorney General, the Ghana Bar Association created an impression of political bias. Now, responding to the claims, PRO Edema Ghana Bar Association, Xavier Kuzi Echiremwa, the bar strongly disagrees with the assertions of the Attorney General. Now, PRO Nichim said the Kodientia Ghana Bar Association strongly disagree with the Attorney General's assertion. They say, Ebesine, the Ghana Bar Association does not know charges on which prima facie case was established against the former Chief Justice. Ebio, the Ghana Bar Association Chirima, under Article 46, omujina so edisake the Chief Justice. There were no regulations in place stated misbehavior. No omujina so edihai the former Chief Justice to akunya. Yet the process went on. So stated misbehavior no omukand wo say omujina so edisake the former Chief Justice. Ghana Bar Association Chirima under Article 146 regulations be any one more. A church stated misbehavior anymore. But yet still, committee ni talk also. Emma process ni to also. Emma omudi the former Chief Justice. Efriho. The PRO explained further that beyond these two high-profile cases, several superior court judges have also been removed using the same constitutional article, even without formal regulations guiding the process. He further argued that the bar's current call for regulations to guide the application of the Article 146 is not a matter of partisanship, but of principle and institutional maturity. And me quote to the PROC, if as a society, we are now deciding to formalize this process, and the bar is advocating for clear regulations, what is partisan about that? Even as human beings, the fact that you didn't take a certain decision yesterday doesn't mean you can't take it today or tomorrow. So we strongly disagree with the assertions of the Attorney General. The Ghana Bar Association maintains that its recent positions are aimed at strengthening constitutional governance and due process, and not to support or oppose any political interest. The exchange reflects growing tensions between legal and political institutions in Ghana, particularly on the role of the Ghana Bar Association in matters of national importance. In the Ghana Bar Association, Chirima, Samaya from Swan Naman to me and from Ranya Juma. Adia aye illegality, or Chinanon Chrese, on to me and correct sa illegality no ene. Ti adia bi koso no anenya, and non Chrese ye hunwa and nay, yen to me correct adiene koso. Ti omutu sa na monwa, and no for partisan politics. The law must be allowed to work effectively. In the case of Chairman Kwambafo Abronye as against the state, Omusai edi the Attorney General ho yaw say prosecutors ending prefer say in issues of misdemeanor, the client is always granted bail because the evidence can anytime be generated electronically. The Ghana Bar Association decided to just say, and somewhat Chairman Kwambafo Abronye do kotuja, it can always be generated electronically. Until there further investigations and prosecution ni yentia, omuko pleading with the court. Ma court to jina so edi deny Abronye bail. Emma spending close to 2 weeks in police custody. Etiamra in issues of misdemeanor. Enunti na nko mususu say the Attorney General ye obia or ye vested in the laws of this country no. Ebe draw the attention of the trial judge to the fact that in cases of misdemeanor, ye handle obi said they handle Chairman Kwambafo Abronye. In these two instances, and at the Ghana Bar Association, ama omo voices are very much heard say the Attorney General is wrong to say that they are turning a partisan line, because according to law, what is wrong is wrong. The Yekoti, former Deputy Attorney General, the learned Alfred Tuyanyeboa, and so Nsem-Pii Oka Edifa, the Attorney General Dr. Dominic Akutinga Ayine, Nsem-Pii Odikotu, the Ghana Bar Association for any or the perfect response. Amen.
You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother.
What's your reaction hearing the Attorney General speak about the GBA to the GBA in the manner he did?
Thank you very much. Fortunately, I'm in WA, so I was there in the morning when the Attorney General delivered his speech. We must all realize that or recognize that the Attorney General is the leader of the bar. He is part and parcel of the bar. And for that matter, the comments that he made bordering on the activities of the GBA, if they are positive, he's part of it. If they are negative, he's part of it. And so his comments regarding whether GBA was supposed to have commented on the matter yesterday, but is now commenting on a new matter, is something that I think is worth looking into. For instance, I do not agree with the Attorney General indicating that the GBA lost its voice some time ago about the current administration, the GB has found its voice. And he made reference to the removal process of sh0cks and the other two deputies by indicating that in that process, the GBA never came out with any comment. But when it came to the removal process of the Lady Chief Justice, the GBA came out with its statement on the matter. We must not forget that in 2014, when the then president received a petition for the removal of the chair of the charge, the GBA, by my reckoning, did not issue any statement. Does it mean that they lost their voice also under President Mahama in 2014? Perhaps the facts then did not merit the release of any press release by the GBA. In 2017, GBA, also looking at the facts, also decided not to issue any statement. 2025, a petition for the removal of the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice position is not like the EC chairperson position. We must have that one in mind and then understand it once and for all. The CJ is the head of the third arm of the government. The EC chairperson or chairman is the head of a constitutional body. For that matter, if you think that you may want to use that one to justify or to justify the allegation that the ATB has just found its voice, I mean, you cannot have it that way. It must also be placed on record that the Bar Association worldwide, and for that matter, those in Commonwealth, they are the people who speak for the judiciary. The GBA will come in at any time there is the slightest attempt to interfere with the independence of the judiciary. And this is something that the GBA has been consistent on. And so the GBA decided to comment on the removal process of the Lady Chief Justice. I see nothing wrong with it. In any event, even if the GBA did not speak on the removal process of 2014 under President Mahama and 2017 under President Akufo-Addo, does it mean that the GBA should never comment on any issue again? I expected the Attorney General to rather even commend the GBA for speaking up and also urge them to move into the future, also speak on many issues that may come up. But the way he put it is as if he's averse to criticisms by the GBA. When we were in government, now you mentioned it, I'm a politically exposed person, I'm a politician, the GBA spoke its mind. I mean, if you go to 2019, the GBA president then, Mr. Anthony Forson, at the Bar Conference in Takoradi, stated the position of the GBA regarding the governance of President Akufo-Addo. The President Akufo-Addo was there at the conference. Omar, you can check. 2023, in Cape Coast, when President Akufo-Addo, in the course of his speech, indicated that President Mahama should not be voted for as the president in 2024 elections, the GBA came out to condemn it. And the GBA speech at the conference in Cape Coast also criticized our government. We never complained. Last year, 2024, in Kumasi, the GBA president criticized President Akufo-Addo's government severely regarding Galamsey and other matters. The government took it in good faith. What has changed? That currently, we just want comment on the removal process of a Chief Justice. Then the Attorney General saying the GBA has recently found it. Perhaps for all these years, the Attorney General was not following the activities of the GBA. Otherwise, this statement that you made today wouldn't have been made.
So you do not agree that the GBA is biased, in the words of the Attorney General, even though he may not be the only one who is saying this, but perhaps the highest ranking lawyer who is saying this publicly for the first time?
You see, this statement, this is not the first time that some of us have heard this statement. But if I hear such a statement from any other person, not in the position of the Attorney General, I may say fine, the person may be speaking from his own standpoint. But if you hear such a statement from the Attorney General, who is the leader of the bar, it tells you that the Attorney General is actually out there to fight the bar. That is what I am getting. I may be wrong. Otherwise, if you are the head of a household and you have issues with that house because you are part of it, how do you resolve it? You sit down with them, they will explain to you A, B, C, D, then you resolve it. But the moment you go out and then you behave as if you are not part of the system, whether the Kenyan likes it or not, he's the leader of the bar, unless he doesn't want that position, but that's his position. And so I least expected him to come out with this position. You could leave it to the political propagandists, leave it to political commentators to do it. They may have their own opinion on matters. But the GBA has been consistent on matters. The GBA also cannot be compelled to comment on matters that it does not want to comment on. Has there been any circumstance or instance where the Ghana Medical Association has been compelled to issue a statement, or National Medical Association, or NAS? Associations, they are not partisan associations. As and when they deem necessary, they come out with their issue, their comments on issues involving the nation.
Okay, but the law that was used is the same law, isn't it? So if the same law was used in the past and the Attorney General makes the remark that the association did not lament or comment, why is the association speaking now when the same law has been invoked again?
See, if I'm not mistaken, within this year, the AG himself, that's what I'm not mistaken, said there was the need to have a regulation or a CI governing the removal process of a superior court judge, including the CG. And so if the bar association comes out with a statement to echo the same point, have they broken any bone? The GBA comes out with a statement that the CJ is being removed. We urge due process and fairness to be followed. Is it anything that we can say is untoward? No. The GBA statement, the first one was about due process. The second one was consequent upon a resolution of the media conference of the GBA. So if the lawyers meet, GBA meet, and they come out with a resolution, you expect them, the leaders will say, we are not going to come out with a resolution. That was the essence of the executives. So the GBA has been consistent, and I think I support the view of Attorney General regarding the passage of the CI to regulate the removal process of the Chief Justice. Because the Chief Justice is the head of a third arm of government. That's what we must all be looking at. If the president is to be removed now, we know the process of impeachment. If the speaker is removed, that process also there. But when it comes to the speaker, when it comes to the Chief Justice, the Parliament is not involved, even though Parliament approved his nomination or her nomination. When it comes to the removal of the president, Parliament is involved. And so now we have a constitutional provision that has not taken into consideration all these matters. So we are saying, if we are not going to amend the constitution, let's have the CI to guide us in the process that we can use in removing the superior court judge.
Okay.
If in the past there wasn't any CI, and now there's a need for a CI, nothing has changed.
The Attorney General spoke at the bar conference. He's the leader of the bar, not the president of the association. He's not an executive. Do you get a sense from the GBA that it is unhappy with the statement that was made by the AG? Would the GBA take any action in relation to what the Attorney General said?
I think the GBA, speaking for myself and from what I have gathered, I mean, being at the conference when a lot of the majority of the members are not happy about that comment regarding the GBA not commenting on sh0cks issue, but commenting on the CJ's issue. As to what the GBA may want to do, I mean, that person also has the right to also make his comments.
Okay.
We disagree with him. So I think the GBA is not going to take any steps. That's what I say. I'm not part of the executives. But the GBA is going to go ahead to issue statements as and when they deem it fit. Then let me add this point before we end this issue. We want us to end about the intervention and sovereignty. You see, the Attorney General made this comment that through the removal process, the Commonwealth Lawyers Association issued a statement, and he was of the opinion that that amounted to interference. That aspect of it, I especially disagree with the Attorney General.
On the line, you're welcome to Eyewitness News Council.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity.
Bear
with me, I have a very bad cough, so I'll manage it.
Don't worry, I'll send you some vitamin C. I know a right place to get it in Wa.
Thank you, sir.
Let's talk about today. The Attorney General came and was a no holds barred address to the conference, accusing the conference or the bar itself or the executives that led it of bias, and he cited specific instances where the bar saw no evil, said no evil, and heard no evil. But all of a sudden, the bar, under a new dispensation, according to the AG, has found its voice. As executives of the GBA, what is your official reaction or response to what the Attorney General said at the conference today?
Thank you so much. I think our position is clear. We respectfully disagree with him. Using his own speech today, he gave certain scenarios, beginning with the removal of the former sh0cks boss, Madame Loretta Lamte. That happened under NDC. Am I right?
Yes, he did.
And then fast forward, removal of a former EC chair, Madame Charlotte Osei. That happened under MPP. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
And both happened under Article 146, not so. At that time, no regulations were made. Apart from these two, some judges, Superior Court judges, were removed using the same Article 146. So if as a society, going forward, we have to be towing the way, the line, we have to be going, proceeding the way we are proceeding. And the bar is saying that, well, let's put in place regulations to govern the application of Article 146 of the Constitution. What is favoritism about this one? As a society, do we want to be static? Because in the past, it has happened to us when both regimes were in power. We have now seen it happening again, and we are saying that, look, going forward, we shouldn't be doing it the way we used to do it. What is wrong? Has it been done and is being skewed in application in favor of one side? I don't think so. There's nothing that is constant. The only constant I know is change. And as a society, we keep evolving. Even as human beings, the fact that you didn't take a certain decision yesterday doesn't mean that you can't take it today or tomorrow, looking into the future. So I think he got it wrong. We disagree with him.
Okay. Is there a reason behind the non-issuance of a statement when Charlotte Osei was removed as Electoral Commission chairperson by the GBA at the time? Can you speak to that?
There was no reason. That is why I said that those appear to be the earlier stages of the application of Article 146. But going forward as a people, if we think that that wouldn't help us, why would anybody be resisting a suggestion that rules should be made to guide the process? Don't forget, nobody is saying that 146 does not give power to the president to remove the CJ or any Superior Court justice. That power is there, but there must be regulations governing procedures in the removal process. That is all we are saying. So to say that we are biased, I don't think it's right. I remember when we went to